So if families are starting to worry that something isn't quite right, what are sort of what, from your point of view, what are subtle early signs at home that you think people often miss?
Um, a lot of people have hopefully familiarity with their parents, and they'll see changes, subtle changes in the way that their parents may start forgetful things and put it down to old age, or maybe she's just confused or he's confused, and not understanding it's the start of a progression, and that progression, unless caught early, um, has no real cure.
Mm-hmm.
Indeed, dementia as such at the moment doesn't seem to have a cure. However, it can be retarded for a long period of time using special drugs. If you're actually prior to the stage of hallucinogenics, um, that's normally when people will turn around and actually say, okay, there's something wrong with them. Well, it's a bit late then.
Mm.
So we're trying to pick up the symptoms of dementia early in the matter and make sure that they get to the correct people in a timely fashion so it doesn't fall into the next stage, which is the where you start seeing things. And then all of a sudden you visit mum and you say, oh, she's talking about people who aren't there. And unfortunately, there's very little that can be done after that.
Mm. So we can spot quite easily if someone is having memory issues maybe, or that repetitiveness, or changes in behaviour maybe. What about the environment then? Let's touch on that. What about the environment of someone being at home? What should we be looking for?
Yeah, it's essentially the environment itself. There'll be a pattern. Most people have a pattern all the way through their adult life. And changes to that pattern, things like not actually making a cup of tea in the morning, not actually, or personal hygiene is another classic. And as such, you end up with this sort of subtle differences that unless you know what they are symptoms of, then you will just put band-aids, for want of a better word on it. People live, a long way away from their parents nowadays, and so they can't visit as often. And out of sight is out of mind, and as such, and also, people have had a long time to learn how to lie really successfully.
Mm.
On the basis they may be concerned that they are going to be moved from their environment. So everything's going to be okay, always is.
Mm.
And unless their house burns down, it might not be okay. So the whole concept of picking up these subtle changes makes a jigsaw that you can put together and hopefully catch early signs of dementia, and then get the appropriate help in the form of memory clinics, which most people don't even know exist. And, very good psychogeriatricians who can medicate accordingly, taking off the extremely unpleasant edges of the disease, and also being able to stop the anxiety by people worrying about things like bills, which can then help to actually progress the disease. Because the more you get concerned, the more likely that the disease will progress faster.
Mm.
And we see this in people's habits in their home, in that they actually, will turn the heating off. They won't. They'll put an extra jumper on. These things, when they get to a certain stage, make things like pneumonia, COPD, long-term illnesses, and then all of a sudden you've got an intervention which you're not familiar with, which then makes the disease progress that much faster.